Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Embracing Life in Issaquah. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, and I'm here with your lovely host, Rebecca Kuno-Scott. Hello, Rebecca.
Hi there.
Hello, hello. We're embracing life today.
Yes, we are. We are.
In Issaquah. Well, this is fun. We're talking about blended families today, which is great. I know that as a real estate agent, you get to meet with a lot of people throughout a year, and I would imagine, I have this feeling like blended families have become more common. Do you feel like that's true? Have you noticed, like, when you meet with clients, like there are more blended families than you used to meet with?
Definitely.
I wonder why it's interesting. Like, why that? Like, I don't know. What did they used to do? Like, get divorced and then not remarry, or why is it?
I don't know.
I'm giving you questions that are
Yeah,
really
like I'm not sure why, but it does feel like it's become more more common. I don't really know why. I just feel like if people go on to, if they get divorced, that they don't give up on the idea of having a family union.
Oh,
so
yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
that's good. I can see, in the space of, I just feel like people are waking up. I don't know if that's fair, but I feel like, if you looked across the world at the level of consciousness, I feel like people are sort of waking up to, in the middle of chaos, in the middle of like life can be hard. I got divorced or whatever it is. I'm open to what's next. And I think some of that, when you start leaving some of the traditional thinking, more possibilities open up. And maybe, I don't know, I'm sort of speculating here, but maybe that's part of why more people are finding love in a second season of life.
It's interesting that you worded it that way, because for my experience, that's very much what it was, right? Now, in my situation, I was not divorced. I was widowed. And that was a whole long, stressful journey of illness. And once that chapter had closed, I was 36. And I was like, there still has to be, I'm young, like there still has to be something for me. There has to be something for my daughter. And it didn't feel like I was coming from a place of being fearful of being alone. Because I actually, with what I went through, gained a ton of strength. So it wasn't so much about worried about being alone. I'm very much a people person, and I wanted somebody in my life to share my life with, right?
Yeah.
I definitely had a close family tribe to help me through the trials and tribulations of raising my daughter. So that wasn't my concern. And so, like you said, I very much was open to what's next. And it's funny because I refer to my husband now as my chapter 2. He's my chapter 2, right?
Yeah.
So, and now I'm so I found him, and we've created this life. And so now we're kind of in the chapter 3 phase, if you will.
Yeah.
And chapter 3 is like creating this blended family and navigating what that looks like. And let me tell you, it can be hard work. It can be rewarding. And there's definitely aspects of it that are really awesome. And there can be a lot of work, a lot of getting down in the trenches, nitty gritty, pull your hair out frustration.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Like the amount of and when I think of it, I think of coordinating schedules. I think of communication breakdowns. I think of thoughts of identity, like for kids to be like, who am I? How do I fit? There's all sorts of ways this could go, I would imagine.
Totally. Like scheduling and communication is huge. And like you said, identity is really huge. That's a big concern for us. So my daughter obviously is with us 100% of the time because her daddy passed away. So she's not getting shuffled back and forth.
Right.
But my stepdaughter is getting shuffled back and forth between a couple of homes. And we absolutely have that thought of how do we incorporate her into our routine so that it feels normal and natural,
Yeah.
and so that she feels like she has a place within our family unit.
Mm-hmm.
And then how does, we can't control how she's incorporated into the family unit at her mom's.
Right.
But that is tough because she does have to get shuffled back and forth, and it's very much a concern for us. And it's very different households. Neither one is right or wrong. They're just totally different philosophies, right? And so that's got to be challenging for her.
I think there's a lot of, I didn't exactly know where we'd go in this conversation before hitting record, but as we're talking through, I've got to imagine there's the constant in all of this chaos, right? The constant in all of this managing of a blended family would be, I would think it would be your own mindset, like how you be the calm in the storm, how you have presence of mind to hold it all together. Cause you never know. You can't create predictability. You can try to create schedules that are predictable, but even that's not realistic to expect it's going to stay that way. Have you found, I know as a real estate agent, you were doing a lot of like personal development stuff. Have you found that some of the mindset stuff you did in your personal development has helped in your embracing of the chaos and
that is a great connection. And yes, I think that in the personal development, the business development aspects that I've studied over the course of the past 20 years in real estate has been able to translate over to helping me to embrace having a blended family.
Right.
And you make a really good point of what is the constant? And I would love to hear feedback from the audience because I know I'm not the only blended family out there.
Right.
I would love to hear how others navigate through that. I will be honest and very authentic. I struggle with maintaining the mindset that if I'm at my highest and best self,
right,
my mindset's going to be one thing, right?
Yep.
I struggle maintaining that mindset that is what my highest and best self would want because there are so many emotional triggers that get brought into the equation. And so then I react in a visceral fashion.
Right.
I'm curious if other people struggle with that too. And I think the best thing that we can do is just continuing to be mindful of when we find ourselves getting triggered. How can we prompt ourselves to take a step back, catch a breath, so that we can be that highest and best version of ourselves, so that we can be the best step parent to that child who is having to get shuffled back and forth, so that they have a sense of constant and consistency and knowing what they can expect. Because I know from talking to other friends of mine where their kids go back and forth, the different households thing, the different expectations, the different set of rules. That's hard, right? Like,
right. I can.
And so being mindful of that. And it's not easy. At all.
I don't think there's nobody's perfect. And I know, I think, blended families, I'm not in a blended family, so I'm totally speculating on humanity here. But I think that when you go through hard times, whether it's being widowed or it's being divorced, like those are character building seasons in life. And in some ways it positions you for the child in a way to really champion the children in that blended family for mindset. Like if you really get present to, if you really access your higher self, you can start to teach some life lessons. In our family, we call it life school. Like, hey, let's talk about life school and the lessons that life has taught me. And I try to pass that on. But I just think like it takes a lot of courage to step into a blended family because of all the uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's some really strong life lessons for as parents to pass on to the kids.
I wholeheartedly agree. You even though you're not in a blended family yourself,
right.
I think you're right. I think it does take a lot of courage to step into that role and step into it to where you fully take on that role. You fully embrace that role of
right.
being a step parent and being in a blended family.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, this is again, not at all the same, but we got a puppy this summer, and it was a choice to bring this other thing into our family. Right. And I think before I did it, I was like, oh, this would be so great. I can't wait to have a puppy. Right. And then, the last time we had a puppy was like in my 20s, and then now I'm in my 40s. So I'm like, I do not know what I was thinking. This was crazy, right? My sleep's off, like everything, like we're having like very strong-headed dogs. So like there's like these battles of personality, and I can't imagine it's unlike how it would go when you decide to blend a family. Like, this is great. I found love. It's awesome. And then you get in and it all hits the fan and you're like, this is not what I pictured. Right. And there's just every day I'm recommitting to trying to be present in this relationship with the dog. Right. And I'm just committed. That's all I can fall back on, is like, I'm committed. Like, I'm not always doing it right. And there are many times where there are like battles, and I'm just committed to doing it right. And that's kept me in the game, and I'm seeing progress, right? But I don't think that's unlike how it is in a blended family. Yes.
I actually think it's a humorous, but actually
right.
really excellent analogy. And I can speak to that because I am in a blended family, and I too just 3 months ago, 2 months ago, brought in a puppy.
A puppy? Yeah.
She was 49 days old when we brought her home. She was 5 pounds, and she is now 22 pounds and just growing fast. And we're really fortunate in that she's a quick learner, and she's adapting to our family pretty quickly.
Nice.
But there was a lot of sleep disruption, and the sleep disruption is to me symbolic of the disruption to the rhythm of things, especially when whatever the routine schedule is supposed to be with the child gets disrupted for whatever reason, whether it's a breakdown in communication or whatever the case may be.
Right.
That's like getting your disrupted sleep, right?
Yeah.
So
right. That's good.
I guess my point to the audience is I just wanted people to know, hey, you're not alone. I would love to hear other people on how do you handle the stresses and frustrations and the moments when you just want to pull your hair out because you're so ticked off. Not necessarily at the child, but at the situation, right?
Right. Circumstance.
How do the audience members, how do you guys navigate through that? Sometimes I navigate it well, and I'm able to take that step back and catch my breath and think twice before I take action or communicate. Other times, I'm a passionate person, and
wink. I'm a passionate person.
I've been known to text without thinking.
Nice.
Fortunately, it is in my nature. My diplomacy level is actually pretty high.
Yeah.
So I am fortunate in that while I have had my fail moments where I get into texting wars, I am fortunate in that what I text is generally, taking the high road, and I'm stating things that are facts. I may state them in an angry way, but I'm stating things that are facts.
Sure, of course.
But I don't love myself in those moments. I'm not proud of myself in those moments. I like it when I'm better able to take a step back and catch my breath. I mean, I'm sure we all do, right?
Yeah.
So
Something funny about having your buttons pushed, like, I would say daily my button is pushed by my dog. So I'm like, like, I feel like I'm better than this, but somehow she still managed to push my buttons. I'm like, I will rise. I will evolve. I promise.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that is such a great analogy.
Right. Yeah.
Such a great analogy.
Yeah. So funny. Well, Rebecca, if people want to reach out to you, they're like, they really, I just love where you come from. You're so you're so approachable and easy to be with. And I think, what better qualities would you want in a real estate agent? If people want to connect with you for real estate needs, is there a place that they can go, or they want to connect with this conversation?
Sure.
About embracing life in Issaquah?
Sure. Two great places to connect with me. My Facebook page, Embracing Life in Issaquah. Or you can always shoot me a call or a text, 425-395-4573. And I promise I will bring my authentic self, good, bad, and ugly. That's
what we want.
Who I am.
That's what we want now. That's what we want. Okay, good. Awesome. Well, thanks for your time. We'll catch you in the next episode. See ya.
Bye, Chris. Bye, everyone.